Hey, welcome back to ICP. Today we're going to be discussing scatter plots on the Excel program. What you're going to learn is how to create a line graph on a scatter plot using Excel. Some simple rules for making line graphs. We want to have a title on it, a y-axis, an x-axis. We want to have numbers on the x and y-axis, evenly spaced. We want to include the slope equation. Helpful hints, all right, is a lot of times they'll at the top if they'll call it distance versus time. Um, if whatever they give you first is going on the y-axis. So they said distance, so right here that was telling you it's the y-axis, versus time. So they're telling you that time's going to be on the x-axis. I know that's a little bit counterintuitive to what we're taught with an x and y ordered pairs, but that's how we name them. Typically, again, we'll say distance versus time. So distance would be on the y-axis and time would be on the x-axis. A line graph or a scatter plot is going to show continuous change. It's going to use two variables. The x-axis is going to be the independent variable and the y-axis is going to be the dependent variable. That's kind of repetitive from what we said the other day. Here's an example of a scatter plot. We like to call this a line graph, but it's really just a scatter plot because it's got these points that they've connected. So it is a scatter plot. I want you to remember that when doing Excel, we want to click on scatter plot. Even though we call it a line graph, if you do line graph on Excel, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. It does Excel, a line graph on Excel is not what we call a line graph. I repeat, a line graph on Excel is not what we call a line graph. We'll make a scatter plot. So here's an example then of some points that we can put on a scatter plot. I've went ahead and already put these points in here. I want to show you just how simple it is then to make a scatter plot. We can do this very quickly. First of all, we're going to highlight these. I'm going to go up here to insert and I'm going to go down here to where it says scatter plot. I'm going to click on, you can choose, typically I'm going to choose ones that are not connected because we want to put our own line in there, a trend line. So now that's in there. I'm going to go over here to the far right, click on chart elements. I'm going to go down here to where trend line is, and then you can't see it right now, but if I put on the right there's an arrow. I'm going to go down here to what's called more options, and as I scroll down you're going to see me display equation on the chart. And what that's going to do now is that gives me this equation, which is very important for us. The next thing I'm going to go up here then is I'm going to go up here to I think it's format. I'm going to click on format. No, I'm going to click on design, sorry. And I'm going to go add chart element. I'm going to add we already have an axis title, or sorry, I'm going to put axis. I'm going to give my horizontal axis. You notice this clicks on down here. I can go right away and type without clicking anything, and I'm going to call this time. Maybe I can't. Or I'm going to have to click down here, I guess. It's changed. Time, I'm going to call it seconds. Make sure you always include a unit. I'm going to go up here to design again, add chart element. I'm going to add another axis title. This is the vertical one. I'm going to go ahead and click over here in it, and I'm going to say this is maybe my distance. I'm going to go ahead and call this meters. Notice I'm already getting you guys used to using meters, the metric system. Up here it's already got a title. Again, remember, we said when we title it, we're going to say the y-axis first. So I'm going to say distance versus time. And now what I've got here is a nice scatter plot. Later on when we do labs, we'll be able to copy and paste this into Microsoft Word. It's just simply I click on it, right hand click, and I can copy it, and then when I go to Word I can paste it. We're going to talk about this equation later on, but this is very important. But hopefully this is informative for you on how to make these. Okay, what I've included here then is another one for you to do. I want you to go ahead and make this own. Once again, I'm saying line graph up here, but make sure you do a scatter plot. All right, this is going to give us what we want. A line graph will not give us what we want. Make sure you do a scatter plot, do it on Excel, and submit that on Canvas. Hey, I'll catch you on the flip side.